Yo, what's up? Watch the Philandes, watch the backside. This is T History. How's everybody doing? What's the volume like? This thing be in and out. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend and everybody's good. Um, Tonight, this morning, however you gonna call it. We have a special guest. Newly content creator, a part of the neighborhood of ours. We're gonna have up talking with Tommy D. We're gonna find out about his past up until the guy that we be watching on 24/7, 365. Mister, I'm live. So yeah, man. Everybody, buckle your seatbelts and let's get ready for the ride. Waiting on Tommy D now. He was waiting on me. Now we're waiting on you. Vic, what's going on? Pamela J, what's going on? Everybody in the building. Try to put this mic, but I don't know. Y'all can hear me. Tam came. What's going on? And then new Victor, Vic. Everybody, what's the word? Can you guys hear me? So you do hear me, Tam. Okay. So we're just waiting on our favorite guy, Tommy. Hello, Rain. Rain is in the building. So we're waiting for Tommy. How's everybody doing? Of course, I can hear the cars like they're in the damn computer. P, what's the dilly, man? What's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. It's going to interview one of our people. I dropped the link for him, but Ralph, when I have interviews, man, I only just let the person that's getting interviewed come up here and speak. I think he went to smoke a cigarette or something, but I don't know. He was over there jamming, so I don't know why we're waiting for him. Abby, what's going on? How you doing this evening, this morning? I know. And then he was asking everybody, was I ready? And I told him, yeah. I guess he's late. Yeah, he's late. Yeah, my fault, y'all. So, how's everybody doing once again? Hey, what's going on, man? Dream Chasers, I ain't seen you in a few. Yeah, man, you know how it is, P. You gotta keep working, man. It ain't easy. It's always running to the wall process. But hey, it is what it is, man. Same with you. Like I said, we're gonna get on them games. Seen you whooping up on that kid the other day too. You gotta cut that out. Can't just be having James Harden dunking all over motherfuckers like that, man. But yeah, all right, come on now, Tommy. You was over there banging all that music and talking about where I'm at. Now we're waiting on you. I'll throw this link out here again. That's what I asked, Kev. How you doing? We chilling, waiting on your boy Tommy. Yeah, Durango. How he was asking where I was at. Now he's not here. Oh, Tommy boy. Okay, so everybody, all the family, damn near all the families up here. Where's Murphy at? Yeah, okay. There we go.
T History, what up? My bad, bro. My bad. 5 minutes late. My bad. It's good.
All that Eminem energy.
There's no energy. I'm straight. I'm just trying
All right.
to get set up
You
here.
got
That's
a
all.
lot of our family members in here, a couple of few guests. So we set it off as normal. I would like to know, I mean, you let the people know who you are and where you from.
All right, hold up. Let me set my camera up here. All right. So my name is Tommy D. Okay. I got the channel called Talking with Tommy D, and I'm from Lower Bucks County in near
Phil-
Philadelphia.
Okay. So the area in Philadelphia, how was it growing up? How was your childhood? How was your childhood and stuff?
I had a good childhood. I grew up in suburbs mainly. I was born in the city, and then when we were younger, we moved to a smaller part of the suburbs, which is kind of like the city. It's Delaware County. It's the south side of Philadelphia. And
Hmm.
so we were born in South Philly, and then we moved to a smaller suburb. And then my dad got a really good job, and we moved up to Lower Bucks County, and that's where we at now. And that's like
Right.
a middle class type place. Um, my dad did
What
well for
about
himself, you know.
that's what's up?
So yeah,
How about siblings? Do you have any brothers or brothers and sisters or
yeah, I got a sister. She's 5 years younger.
oh, so you're the oldest out of the two? So you would say
Yeah,
that you would think that you came up good area, and family orientated. You would say,
yeah. I mean, there was nothing bad about the area. I mean, the suburbs have drugs regardless. There were a lot of drugs where I was at, but it wasn't because of the area. It was just because there was a lot of drugs. I mean, it became a huge problem at that time.
right,
The area was good. There was no crime. There was no poverty really. There were certain areas that were more lower class, but we were more like straight middle class. Like both my parents worked. They worked hard to get what they have. They saved. They they saved. They invested. They did everything the right way. You know what I mean? They really worked for their money, so they earned everything they had. It
right.
wasn't given to them.
So
You
I
know.
mean, as a kid and stuff, what was your dreams and aspirations as a young man, and like going to high school and stuff? How was that like?
Well, in high school, I guess I kind of got into music in high school with a group of kids. So I was in like a high school band. I played the trumpet, I played the keyboard, I played the guitar. Played the bass. I hung out with a lot of different groups of kids. I would fit in a lot of different places. Blend in easy.
Right.
So I had like
You
a
say
lot of
so.
different friends. You know,
So what was your hobbies and what did you know what I'm saying, what did you do as fun
music,
and that's
music.
so the
It was
music was
music.
your
Yeah,
okay.
definitely hardcore.
So
We did that constantly.
what type of I would say trials or tribulations that you had like in high school or like into beginning to getting into what, the meat and potato of what we're here for.
Yeah,
You getting into any trouble as a high schooler or a kid or anything?
yeah. I never got in any trouble as far as. I mean, I would do things to lash out in class to get attention from people. As a kid.
Hmm.
So I think that was an issue in itself. I would get into small amounts of trouble with that. I didn't get in any serious trouble. I didn't get in any big fights, stuff like that. It was more or less just showing off, disrupting class, and then getting in trouble for it. I did that to just stand out for people. I never felt real comfortable in my own skin. I never had a lot of confidence. There was a lot of self esteem issues that I think drove me to use drugs. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think that's my main struggle was self esteem, and I got
Self-esteem
into
for
trouble
sure.
a little bit in 10th grade with the drugs too, because I got caught bringing drugs into school and shit. So I did get in trouble with that.
Right. So, I mean, how did you get introduced to drugs? And like, what was
Well,
the first thing that you started um using and got you found to start? I mean, yeah, what was you using and how did this develop?
all right. Well, basically, when I was in like 8th grade, I guess 7th grade, around 15, or 13 actually, I started smoking weed with kids in the neighborhood. It wasn't anything that was done every day. It was just a little bit, but I allowed me to get high for the first time,
Right.
and it excelled very slowly from smoking weed every day in high school to in my senior year starting to use cocaine a little bit, and ecstasy pills were really big when my senior year. I did a lot of that ecstasy, going to raves with people. It was like one big party my senior year. I didn't graduate. I didn't get to walk with my class. I didn't get to go to my senior prom. Um, I had to go to summer school, and then I had to go to school a little bit the next year just to get a diploma from my high school because of all the slacking off I did in my senior year. So my drug use definitely took off then, my senior year.
So that's what I'm trying to get at. So basically, your senior year of high school is when you started gaining, like really having the drug problem.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Hmm.
maybe it's kind of early in this, but so you would go to raves. So like you said, you could be probably doing ecstasy, popping pills, doing cocaine. What is some of the first things that you kind of uh seen that like, oh shit, like you're using drugs like every day and it's starting to be an issue.
Well, the first sign usually for a drug addict is when you're money. You know what I mean? You're going through money like crazy. So once you see yourself going through all your money, and then you have to find ways to make ends meet other ways, that's like your first sign that you probably have a problem with drugs. You know.
Right.
Um, and then after that, it's more or less just the covering up, the lying to your family members about it. Uh,
Yeah.
certain things happen that you used to do when you didn't use drugs that you don't do anymore, and that stuff is very noticeable.
Right.
So
So
yeah,
what's one of the first crazy shit that you did behind like chasing drugs or whatever?
like a crazy story. You're saying?
You're right.
Um,
Like again, in the same realms of like that you noticing like things have changed. You're just not like because all of us, if you use like weed, you could think you could put it down, but once you're there, you're like, oh shit, it's every day. I'm saying like when the money was gone and the first time that you kind of did some shit, like if it was breaking into a house or anything of that nature.
oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of those like I will never situations come up where I'm doing it. Seeing it happen right before it happens. Like I'll never do this, and then I do it, and I'll never do this, and I do it. I think the first time that I really knew that I was strung the fuck out, and I had some serious, serious problems was when I stole from my family for it.
Right.
Like that was
Did
that
you
was a
have
that was a huge thing. Did I what?
well when you was stealing the money, could you like let us know like how's that feeling? Like do you have any like thoughts or remorses like or like how is a person just under the influence of drugs like when they're stealing from their family members like do you feel bad while doing it or do you just like be just unconscious to it altogether or it's unexplainable?
When you're strung out and you're using like on an everyday basis, and you start running out of money, and you start thinking about how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that, um, and you know that you can do some dirt to your family and probably get away with it, or even not get away with it, but at the same time just get what you need and then take the heat for it later. You know what I mean? Like it was some
Right.
sick shit that I did, and when I did it, I didn't feel nothing, man. Like when I was sick, man, I wasn't thinking about nothing but getting high, dude. Like nothing at all, nothing at all. I mean, it takes over your whole psyche, like unbelievable. So I'm saying like at the time I'm going through and I'm taking and I'm using. I'm not thinking about it, but when I'm coming down off that drug and the consequences are coming towards me, that's when like it's a huge shock and it hurts. That's hard.
So you said that,
You got
I
to deal
mean,
with it.
the first thing, and I know you're not the person that's gonna say it's like the lead way. Well, it could be was bud, but then you use cocaine. So then after that, where did you go? You use something besides on coke?
Yeah, I got a job at a high school working on cars at a Jiffy Lube, doing oil changes and shit. And the guy that worked there that ran the place was running a painkiller Percocet pill ring. He was selling
Hmm.
perks, oxys, all kinds of shit. And I got hooked up with that. I started to use them and sell them through that place. And I didn't know anything about painkillers. Painkillers are opiates. They're
Okay.
just drugs that are like heroin. They're just pills. It's what the doctor gives you for pain when you have your tooth taken out or you have a surgery and you're in some serious, serious pain. They give you painkillers. So, you know, I started to take them pills. I mean, then I found out that my dad had pills from a surgery. So I would go and take those pills because I'd be sick. I had my nana who lived with me, my mother's
Hmm.
mother who raised me because my parents both worked. She got sick towards the end of her life and she had painkillers, which I took. So, a lot of this is just, it's still guilt that I have to deal with. You know what I mean? But it's stuff
Right.
that I did while I was strung out. And I didn't care about it at the time. I just wanted that feeling to go away. It's very dangerous. I didn't know that I would get sick by taking Percocets or painkillers. I didn't know that if I stopped taking them at the time that I would be sick until I was
Right.
sick.
Right.
So it was already too
Could
late at that
you?
point for me.
A lot of us know about these things, but could you like define the what being sick is?
It's bad, man. It's the flu times a million. I mean, you feel achy, you have the chills, you have anxiety where you feel like you want to jump out of your skin. Your opiate receptors in your head are screaming for the fucking drug. All you can think about is that drug and using and having that feeling and having that pain go away. You can't hold any food down. You can't hold your bowels down. You can't hold nothing down. You're a mess, literally a physical mess. Your whole body is screaming for that drug. So you will do anything at that point, most of the time.
That's like I said before. So what could you? I mean, you're doing good, especially knowing you. So what would you like? I said, what's one of the worst thing situations that like being that you presented itself while you was out there,
Worst situation as far as being sick, or worst situation as far as the
like just
addiction?
doing anything to make sure to not be sick to get the next fix.
I mean, I'm going to say right now the worst thing was stealing from my family because that was. But I mean, I would do a lot of things. I mean, I had all types of things that were shady with the law, with other people that could have gotten me into a lot of trouble. Um,
Hmm.
I did a lot of things that could still catch up with me. I don't know. I'm not immune to all this stuff. I don't know
Right.
what'll come to light in the future. But I'm just
What?
saying, I did a lot of things, man. I did a lot of fucked up shit. I robbed people. I went into houses. I don't like getting into that too much, but I went into friends' houses, people that I knew. I knew that I could get into their places easy. And I would
Right.
get into their cribs and I would take from their family.
Right.
So
Yeah. I
I
mean,
did a lot of that.
how about like you would say with like relationships, like how do you maintain any type of relationships with anybody, or was you able to maintain? I mean, obviously you have children, so how is like dealing with relationships? Like, how does that work when you're, basically out there and getting high and stuff? Like,
Well, the first girlfriend I ever had, I got with her when I was about 18, and it was before my addiction got bad. So I had a girlfriend, a steady girlfriend, for about a year and a half before I got into the pills. At
uh
that
huh,
time, I was just smoking some weed and doing a little bit of shit here and there, so it was manageable. Um, she saw the progression go from Percocets to pills to heroin to oxys to heroin to shooting heroin. She saw all of it, and she put up with a lot of really bad stuff that I went through and lied to her, told her I'm going to get better, and I'm not. Calling her from jail, calling her from rehab, her not seeing me for 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever, but still not going and finding another man to be with her. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of
right,
loyalty. It was about 5 years of that she gave me before she had to just walk away from me completely for good. It was an ugly breakup. There's been many of women that have done that because of my addiction. I don't blame them. I blame me. I threw those relationships away. That you can't have a solid relationship with anybody when you're using like that. Even if you're using with your girlfriend or boyfriend and they're doing the same exact thing you're doing and you guys are working like partners, you're still
right,
gonna fuck that person over. Because I have. So
right. I was
your
actually gonna ask
loyalty is to the drug at that point. It's
you.
to the
Right,
drug, not to anybody.
right.
What were you gonna say?
Um, I was gonna you skip. I was gonna ask you that as well. Like, did drug use ever land you in jail, and like what type of time did you do behind it?
Yeah, I didn't do any serious time, but I did go to jail. I got caught up. I was sick in jail. I had to deal with that. That was hard. There was a story. I got hit up with a bunch of drug charges, possession charges, and an assault charge, and I had to face that in Bucks County, but I was hiding out in Trenton, and I was getting all fucked up in Trenton. I was living with someone out there doing dirt with them, and just living. I was going to the methadone clinic in Trenton while I was still getting high and smoking crack and doing all kinds of fucked up shit. And basically, I got caught up in Trenton, and I had to sit in Trenton's jail, Mercer County Correctional Facility, which is a bad place to be, especially because there's a lot of gang members in there and sex, money, murder members and shit like that. Man, they all, it's a rough place to be. So I went in there, and I was sick, really bad sick. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do nothing. I was in there for 14 days before they extradited me back to Bucks County. And people befriended me in there because they knew that I had something that I could give them. You know what I mean? Like I had
Mhm.
support. So I used my support to my advantage. And I had people that had my back in there. So I had like a little group of people that I rolled with and chilled with while I was in there. And it was cool. The one dude I kind of still talk to today on Facebook. But it's all about, man, just yeah, man. I mean, no serious charges. You know what I mean? When I came home and I went to Bronx, they released me,
I-
and I had to sit. I knew I had to go back and face a charge, so I went and I got clean. I went to a recovery house and I stayed off drugs, and that was the only 3 months in my entire life since 1999 that I haven't been high.
wow. That's yeah,
Yeah,
because that's why I wanted to ask you. Yeah, I just wanted to get to that, like how you wasn't able to. Well, it's possible, but you wasn't getting high in jail. I don't think so. Like, how does that?
no, I
How was that
was, I
feeling?
did.
Or you was able to
Yeah,
get high?
in the second jail I was at, I did, not the first one, the second one. Suboxone. That goes in there a lot, so I
So
came out with a habit.
when it was bad, so you said so. Was it like anything you can get your hands on, or was it crack? What was the main thing that you was using, or it just didn't matter?
I mean, it was everything up until the end when it was just crack and dope and meth and shit,
So when it
speed
was
and
really
dope.
bad, Oof, when man, you're a tough dude, bro. When when it was bad, just give us a couple of days. Like what type of how much usage was taking place? What was a day in the life of Tommy D when it was bad? Like
Well, there's a couple of different times where I was bad. One time I was bad on Xanny pills, where I did dope, I smoked crack, and I took a lot of Xanny pills. That was probably the worst I ever was. I would take like 21 2 milligram sticks throughout a whole day. You know, I would take like 3 or 4 at a time, smoke, bunch of crack, shoot some dope. You know what I mean? Whatever. And then that was rough, man. I could have died a lot of times. This last time was really bad though too because I wasn't on the Xannies so much, but I was using fentanyl, the shit that's in Kensington right now, and in some of the other hoods
hmm
too. I mean, fentanyl is everywhere right now, everywhere. And fentanyl is the worst drug that I've ever encountered. I mean, it is so addictive. It makes you act totally out of character. Methadone, Suboxone, all those drugs won't block it. It's too strong, especially for methadone. So my methadone dose doesn't do anything. I can easily use 2 bags of fentanyl and be lit. So usually people on
yeah.
methadone have that protection of not getting high. Like if I was to use heroin, like heroin, regular heroin, I wouldn't get high at
Uh-huh.
all. It would block it, the methadone. The methadone would block it. But
Oh,
fentanyl
okay.
is just so strong, it overtakes it. And this is just blocking it from your receptors if you can understand this T history.
Was
This
it?
like this is a receptor. Like imagine this is your opiate receptor in your brain. This is what delivers the drug to get you high and makes you feel good. Okay? So the
hmm
drug comes in and it gets over there and it's getting you high like that, right? So methadone is a strong opiate. So it takes your opiate receptor over. So if you use heroin, which is a less strong opiate than methadone, it's not going to do anything because it's blocked. It's already got methadone. You understand? So fentanyl comes in, which is stronger than methadone, and it comes on top of methadone. You understand? It's all about the reaction of your receptor in your brain with opiates. It's hard to understand.
Okay.
I
No, I
understand. It's
mean,
hard to understand.
it's a background. That's why we all understand. That's why I like just trying to like I said, I'm not trying to drag you or anything. It's just like
No, it's
what we
fine.
do with the whole family. It's like this is educational purposes and as well as anything. That's why like I'm asking these
Hmm.
questions and like just want to know the uses and like what type of like you said the fentanyl like you said, it's very bad out here too, and basically that's all it is because, like you said, even a lot of people, if it's just regular dope these days, it doesn't do anything. Did you get to that point that you have you was to a needle point, or you was just
Yeah,
sniffing it,
yeah.
or you was
No,
using? Okay.
right in my neck too. I would shoot in my neck.
Oh wow.
Neck shots most of the time.
So
If I could
I
get it, it's
was
hard to get by yourself. If I could get
right.
it, I would try. Then if I missed, I would go to my arm or something. But yeah, needle. Once you go to the needle T history, you're not gonna go
Mhm.
snort dope again. Like you're gonna go shoot dope
No,
again.
I know that.
It's
Yeah,
that
it's
much of a
over.
difference.
Right. Because that's the whole. I get it. That's the whole point. Once you I know. I've been around it. I know this whole what we're talking about. I know the dope as far as the fentanyl and
The
all
dope
that stuff.
game. You've been around the
Yeah, I
dope game.
understand it. It's very hard for someone once you call it booting. Once you start booting, who is tough to come back from that. So that's what I'm saying to you and people that watch this now and later should really appreciate, you trying to maintain what you're doing. Um, what was like one of the first signs and what happened? Was it something very dramatic that got you to say enough is enough?
This last time, I mean, there was many times that I tried that things happened. I mean, I could tell you this could go on forever. This interview. I mean, there was a time where I was going to lose Christopher when he was younger. Um,
Hmm.
that was hard. That got me enough strength to get clean for a while and to remain clean for 4 years after that. Um, and get him back, like literally from the courts and everything. So I did that. That was a good story. And then this last time too was bad too because Anthony was there and I was really bad out in Kensington. I wasn't in Kensington that last time with Christopher, but this last relapse in 17, I was living homeless in a trap house in Kensington. It was bad, man. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know which one you want to hear about. I mean, there's
No,
the one with
like I
Christopher
was
was
saying,
hard.
I would just
I'll
say
tell
to
you about
just
that one if you
explain
want.
like this one because you're clean and then you got seems like a good enough support system now. You know, I know that's just a hard thing to keep because I know that you complain about with the methadone and stuff like that. You don't want to use that. I'm just asking you like for this time, the last time, like what's gotten you here now that you've been clean and trying to maintain it.
All right, basically, there was a lot of real negative shit that happened on my last relapse with my kids. I think my kids were a big motivation to bring me out of the fog I was in. The
Hmm.
reason I stayed in it for so long, it was a long relapse. It was about almost a year straight of me down there, just living in a trap house, working on the street, and just completely detached from my entire family. My kid, Christopher, was beside himself. He didn't really know what was going on. Anthony was with his mother then. She was clean at that time, so she had him. Uh, so Anthony and Christopher were not together. We had just broken up, me and Nicole. So we weren't together anymore. So the kids weren't separated, and the whole family unit was separated, and I was gone. So Christopher was stuck here with my family, my parents, which is not bad. My family, like I said, I love my family. They were there for me, but I was gone, and he was wondering where I was at. And I kept getting like messages on my phone from him, and my dad would make him leave me a message to try to like spark me, because they wouldn't know where I was a lot of times. They would go down looking for me, and then I would dip out, come back. It was bad for a while, man. Like, and I thought they were better off without me, my kids. I thought my kids were better off without me, and my parents were better off without me. I thought that somebody would get it together, and I just thought it was better off without me. So I don't know what got me clean, honestly. I mean, I just had enough at one point. I went to rehab. I got into some trouble when I was in there because I used while I was in there with somebody, a girl that was in there. We got caught together. We got kicked out together. We went down to Kensington together, and we fucked each other over, and then detached. And then I was stuck down there. It was cold. It was wintertime. I knew that my family knew that I was in rehab like a week prior. They were just there visiting me like a couple of days before I had left. My kids were there, both of them. So I just had all that in my head. And I made a call to my dad. He came and picked me up. I went to rehab again. Went to a different one. I detoxed again. I came out and I relapsed a bunch of times to history after that. I mean, I got a job. I worked. I lived here. Every time I got a paycheck, I went down to Kensington and smoked crack for that Friday. And that was it. And then I would come back. I would feel guilty. And I would salvage whatever I had left money wise and do the next week. I did that for like 6 months until finally I got enough nerve to tell my parents what I was doing, that I was relapsing still, and that I needed more help. So they helped me. They started taking my money. I signed my paychecks over to my mom for about a year until I could trust myself with money again. But I was able to stop at that point.
Right. So when you detox, exactly what is that happens? Like when you go to a rehab facility, like could you explain that? Like what takes place in it? What goes
It's
on?
different for different people. For me now, it's just regulating me on my methadone dose. But for people that aren't on methadone, they go in and they get either Suboxone or methadone. They get a dose and then they go down very, 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 very slow until they're fine and they're normal again. But they're still post-acute withdrawal, so they're not going to sleep right, and they're still going to feel uncomfortable, and their emotions are still going to be out of whack. But for the most part, they're not withdrawing anymore, which just means they're not sick.
So,
With
but
me, they just regulate me on methadone. With me, they just
but what's
regulate me on methadone.
Okay, what's the detoxing
So I'm on
part about
maintenance.
though?
That's just a
Like, what
slow
is?
detox. They decrease the dose. That's
Also,
all, little
basically,
by little.
you just go in there and they basically, so you're not using, and then they're giving you either methadone or Suboxone.
Yep. And then they give you little by little. They bring you down dose wise, so you're not feeling sick. You know what I mean?
Right. And you say, but it's up to you. You don't really like. You said the Suboxone don't do anything for you, or you just don't like them.
It didn't work for me. It would work for me if I was able to use it the right way. Suboxone is prescribed like a medication, so they give you it in a bottle. In the beginning, I needed to be disciplined. I needed to be given my dose in front of a nurse because with Suboxone, you could take half the pill and still get high and not be sick. So you got like the best of both worlds there if you do that. That didn't work for me. I was able to abuse that.
Right.
I needed to use methadone. Methadone worked for me.
Hold on. What you said? You said if you do it a certain way, you're still just getting high.
Yeah, okay, listen. Suboxone has Narcan in it. It blocks the opiates from getting to your brain. And it has buprenorphine, which is a drug that takes away the cravings and takes away your withdrawal, like methadone, but not methadone. It's different. It's a different drug. You can't use the two together. You can't use buprenorphine and any other opiate together because they're different and they counteract each other. You'll be sick.
Right.
So if you take the Suboxone doctor will tell you to take two 8 milligram tablets a day and you'll be good. You'll be blocked and you will have no cravings, right? Well, I found that if I take a half of one pill, I still have no cravings and I'm still not sick. But if I want to get high later in the day, I'm not blocked. So once I
Oh,
figured that out, I was fucked with Suboxone,
I got you. I
you
got
know?
you. I got you. Wow.
So I'm on
That's
methadone now, you know. They give me the dose
methadone.
every day. They give you take homes for when they're closed. And hopefully I will get take homes again because I smoke weed and I have a medical marijuana card. And before they didn't give you take homes for that, and now I think they may. So hopefully, fingers crossed, my life will change. I'll be able to go on vacation again and not have to get up every morning and go to a clinic sick. So that's good.
So what?
Pray for
So
that.
what's the biggest? What's the biggest things? I mean, what do you basically do? Navigate yourself. You laugh.
What was that? I didn't get that. Say it again.
I said, what have you been doing? Because I know that you probably it could be in the back of your mind of falling off the wagon.
Hmm.
What has been keeping you going for like the last 6 months? Do you think?
I think the YouTube channel has been helping me a lot. Finding YouTube in itself. I mean, I found Frank's channel first, and I really got into that, into that community, talking with those people. The pandemic kind of, kind of screwed me up a little bit with everything. So I was glad to find it, YouTube. So that helps me a lot. And then, what was the other part of your question again?
I basically sent like, what's the like, what keeps you down? Like, what kind of has you frustrated these days, or you
Oh,
know?
yeah, I think a lot of it is just my situation. My situation, and it's, I don't know really, to be honest, what makes me down a lot. I have a lot of really bad drug dreams. So I will wake up in an altered state, like thinking that it's a different time sometimes until I kind of get into reality. That kind of gives me a little bit of a bad taste. I have really bad anxiety when I first wake up.
Hmm.
That messes with me a lot. Anxiety's bad with me. I immediately want to take Xannies or benzo or something like that to stop it. So, anxiety, I guess thinking about mistakes that I've made. I'm still a little bit of a. It's hard to explain. I don't know. Anxiety
Well,
for the most part.
do you go to any group meetings?
Besides the groups at my methadone clinic, no. I used to go to AA, but I stopped going
But
there.
you don't have you don't have a personal a therapist at all, a personal therapist neither.
I did, but I don't go to her no more.
Do you think that those are things that could help you, or you just it's not your thing?
No, I think they can help me. I just need to find the right person. The woman that was dealing with me was very unprofessional, and she was kept trying to get involved in my personal life too much. And I understand you have to tell them your personal life and shit like that, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I was nervous with her a little bit. I wasn't comfortable opening up completely with her, so I figured I would just stop going because I would need to find somebody that try somebody else. That's all.
Right.
I think they could
So
help me, T History. Don't get me wrong. I think a really good recovering addict counselor could be great for me. I think people need
yeah,
to know what it's like. I think the best counselors I've ever had in my life have been recovering addicts, hands down. I'm not saying that other people can't do this job because they can. They can go to college. They can learn. They can learn from experience by doing groups and having patience. But I feel like the experience I have is more invaluable than anything they'll ever learn in school. You know what I mean?
right. Basically, you could just take one of the motherfuckers' job, is what you're saying.
I feel like I could do it way better. Is all. But
Mm,
not always. Don't get me wrong. I mean, because I look at me. I'm a wreck. I'm a wreck myself sometimes. So I have to manage myself before I can manage other people.
mm.
But I just
Well,
know. I know when people are bullshitting. I know where people are coming from when they're talking like this. And I feel like a lot of these counselors may not.
okay.
Like I can genuinely feel when somebody's crying about an overdose because I had somebody overdose in my arms. You know what I mean? So I can
Right.
genuinely feel what it's like to be brought out of an overdose and how that feels and how scared that is because I have been brought out of an overdose and I was scared, you know? So, I mean,
Right.
I just feel like I could understand it more. That's all.
No, I understand. You have to feel comfortable, just like some of these questions or, whatever to open up and tell anybody. I mean, I guess this is easier for you because mostly everyone here and there's
Thank
people
you,
that's
Ray.
because that are your friends and, people that you're starting to, have feelings for. Um, I'm just gonna have a few more questions because, like, I don't want to, saying kill it and like, you know, I would say, I would say that is this something that you would like to try to add before I'm gonna just ask you a couple more questions. It's gonna be mainly about the channel and stuff like that. Um, is it something that you would like to even tell your YouTube family or like, just or anything that without it being cliche or corny, just but like just, to
Yeah.
anybody that's gonna see this somewhere else about, what I'm saying, the severity of saying getting into drugs and losing no pun intended but losing yourself and getting into drugs or so, just anything that you want to say in the lines of your situation.
Yeah. I like to talk about just my channel for a second and why I started it because um,
That was gonna be the last questions, but go ahead.
that's fine. But I mean, I can get into it's a lot. I mean, let me just speak like this. There's a lot of people right now that are not with their family, and they're caught up in a lot of pain, and It could be pain from post traumatic stress. It could be pain from being born a certain way and feeling different, and then having to use to change how they feel inside because they don't feel comfortable in their own skin to be around their own family. So they will go and they will use and they will feel outside of themselves. And then as they do that from year to year, they create things, they create pain from doing that. I mean, they burn bridges and they may lie and they may cheat you and you may not understand why they're doing it. A lot of people don't understand why we do it. They don't get why we can't stop, why we choose to go down to a horrible part of town in a horrible part of the city in a trap house and sit there for days on end smoking crack rather than be with our family. Like they think some people think that we're lazy people. Like we choose to get high because of that. That's not the case. Like we're sick. Like these people are they're mentally hurt. They're mentally tarnished. They need to be able to get help. And they're just numbing whatever pain they have and they're pushing it deeper down and it's never ever 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 going to get any better until people start attacking the addiction instead of the criminal aspect of this problem. There's so much addiction and there's not enough places for people to go. And they'll say that the statistics are horrible and they're not in our favor, and they're not. Okay, they're not. The statistics are horrible. They're not even 1 out of 10 get clean now. They're less. So, if you're lucky enough to get a day clean, you should just be happy about that and keep it moving. Because any day, any one of us could relapse, lose anything we've ever gained, and then that's it. And there's people down the city right now that they're trying to do harm reduction. It's gotten to a level, and this hasn't just happened. This harm reduction has been going on since the late 90s, even before then. They're handing out clean needles to people so that they're not going to spread disease to each other. Like people are not going to stop using just because there's not a needle around to use. They're going to use whatever they have. It's just a sick problem, man. I don't want to dwell and just keep rambling on the same shit over and over. My situation, I don't really have anything I run from. Okay, I run from myself. I run from myself, my insides, my brain, what the things that go on in my brain. My mind sometimes is my worst enemy.
Well,
So
one thing I would say is what I asked you before that I think that maybe it's easy for me to say in a way, but I had to go to therapy. I think that that's something that you should look to. I know, like what you said, it is hard to like trust somebody in that situation and telling a person your personal business and stuff like that. Even though, like here, you can be open, but I get it. But I think that that's something that you should look into. Because sometimes when you go
7,
to those,
step
you could
7,
go to,
brain.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's cool
Yeah.
because you was looking. So I just think that and I'm not like I said, I'm not judging or anything. I just think that sometimes it probably could help. You know what I mean? But ultimately, you're the master of your own domain. You're the man. So there's you know, it's only going to be right when you make it right. But it's just you have those tough times, like you said, and you get upset and you have your own demons and stuff. But you need somebody to be able to trust and be able to go to when things are not right. And I know, and I've been around drugs my whole life myself, so I know that certain shit happens and the wrong thing goes on, and you can just get high, but just and you have that excuse. You know what I mean? But yeah, I also just gonna say, for us right now, Which what is something for like your family, your YouTube family that you would like to tell us? That tell us something about yourself, Tommy, that we don't know. It doesn't have to
Um,
be.
hmm, you think? Well, I think you know the real reason I don't want to get off methadone is because I'm afraid. That's straight fear, you know. That's why. It's not because I don't think I can't do it. I think I can do it. I just don't think I'll be able to successfully stay off of it and stay sober. So, I know people were wondering if I ever plan on getting off methadone. I saw that was one of the questions. So, I do plan on it. I just don't know when. I'm afraid to right now. Every time I did in the past, I relapsed and it got worse. So I'm trying to
So,
think what else they don't
so
know. I've told a lot T history. I've told a
yeah,
lot.
I understand. I know. I know. I want to. I will also. Yeah, I know it's not too much that you. But that's why I said it could be something that doesn't necessarily even have to be even drug related or anything.
Hmm.
Could be
Okay.
Tommy D was the fucking star quarterback in
Hmm.
1984
I
at
know. I gotta go
John
on.
Glenn.
I won a soloist award in high school for the trumpet for jazz music.
Right.
I was really
Thank
good
you.
at jazz music. Yeah. So there you go.
Pamela
Chicken
J want to
parmesan,
know.
Pamela.
She, yeah, he loves when his girls go. What about you, Vic, Regina? What's your question for Tommy?
I seen it up here already. It's about Xanax.
Oh, he
I
had
seen
one
it.
earlier. I didn't see it.
Yeah, right here. How do you feel about Xanax now? And would you take them again? Question mark. Message for Tommy. So, Xanax. I think it's not a bad drug for people that can handle Xanax. Xanax is a strong drug though. It makes it's look. I don't have a good thing to say about Xanax, Vic. You know this. Um, Xanax destroyed my life completely, but it was with my own being. Like, I mean, I didn't have any discipline with Xanax. It allowed me to felt drunk, you know. But Xanaxes are needed for people that are very high strung, that are going to have seizures. You know what I mean? Epileptics. There's a lot of things, manic depressive. There's a lot of things Xanax can be used for. I don't. If I take Xanax again, Vic, if I took like a piece of his Xanax right now, then I would want more later, and it would lead to
Other shit.
chaos. Chaos. It would lead to chaos. I wouldn't remember anything. When you take Xanax, that's the worst relapse to have because you're in a fog of you not remembering anything. I mean, I woke up on the other side of the city with a cop with his freaking middle thing like this, digging into my chest, trying to wake me up because I was passed out. And I thought I was in Kensington, and I was all the way on the west side of the city. I was all the way on the other side of Philadelphia because I went the wrong way on the L, high on Xanax. So I just don't. I don't think they're good for me. That's all.
So
Yeah, I'm never
Tommy,
gonna. I don't want to.
we'll get to the end of it, but we asked. So how did you get into the YouTube situation and YouTube and getting your channel?
Um.
what are you trying to accomplish with your channel?
Well, in the beginning, I just used it as a way to meet people and talk. But now I'm trying to make it to be like a really big community of like-minded people just to talk and be able to learn from each other. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I like it to get to be really popular. I would love to be able to do nonprofits. You know, GoFundmes for people, help people get into treatment. I like to branch into that. I like to branch into possibly working with a rehab or a halfway house and maybe advertising them over here. You know, there's a lot of things that I want to try to do. Like, I want this channel to be a form of advertisement for the recovery community. And there's a lot of recovery channels out there. Like, I'm not saying that this channel is going to be whatever. I'm just saying that it's entertaining enough that where I could draw people enough in to talk about what's going on with them, and it'll help them. I mean, I've been told that it helps people, so that's what I want. I want it to get big enough to where other people notice, other communities notice, and I'm able to actually use the services that are offered in the recovery community as a way of sponsorship or just as a way to find people and get them into treatment. Because there's a lot of people that need treatment and can't get in. It took me almost a month to find a bed when I had last went into rehab. A month I had to keep getting high for.
Damn.
It used to be, you want to get high, you want to get clean, go to rehab right now and they take you. Right. It's not like that now. You have to go to a crisis center and tell them you're going to kill yourself just to get into a hospital so that you won't use. Like if you're afraid you're going to use, they tell you to go to a clinic, like a Horsham clinic type place or a Friends Hospital type place, which is like more of a dual diagnosis mental health facility, and tell them that you're suicidal. Because then they have to take you, they have to medicate you, and they have to hold you and release you to a different course of treatment, which would be rehab at that point.
Right. Rain asks, you're handy with cars. What's next for you once the pandemic is over?
That's a good question, Rain. I'm so up in the air about that. I want to get into. I would love to get a job and work in a rehab. I'm looking to do that. Work in a rehab, possibly be a peer specialist. Most likely, I'm probably going to go back to a garage and work on cars again because that's just what I know how to do, and I can make the most money doing that. But if I could get into doing the other stuff, I think I would enjoy it more. I definitely would. I wasn't enjoying myself working for somebody else on cars. I enjoyed myself when I worked for myself on cars. And that's hard to explain. I can explain that too, but that's, I don't know if you want to get into that. That's a whole other thing.
I mean, I could kind of understand it off the rip, but if you want to, if that's something to, you could.
Yeah, well, basically, it's like if I'm working for somebody, I gotta cater to them. I gotta do what they want. They're always gonna bitch at me when they don't want to hear certain things and they don't want to. I'm not doing something right. You're not getting paid the amount you want, stuff like that. Obviously, I'd rather work for myself. So, and side work's a little bit easier because it's not as much. I don't know what's going to happen, Rain. I have no clue where I'm going to be when this pandemic ends. This is up in the air for me.
I mean, again, that's also like far as the channel goes, it's the same type of thing. What do you look forward to or expect to be at far as the channel goes around this time next year?
This time next year?
Yeah. Is
that what you said?
Yeah.
I would love to be monetized, but I don't know if that's going to happen. That would be a goal that I would have. Get more subscribers, to get to the 1,000 and to get monetized because I already have the hours. I just need the subscribers, man.
You damn sure do already got that.
I do. I got like almost 5,000.
God damn.
You do 24-hour lives, people are gonna. I did too many. Not too many.
I'm surprised they haven't hit you with a quote. Like, you made history. You only been up here for 3 weeks, and you have your 4,000 already.
No, people have gotten it quicker than that. I'm sure. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube, man. You'd be surprised.
Oh man.
No, but I would like to get like a Chosen One following. Like Chosen One is a YouTuber, and he's got like a cult-like following. I would love to have that. Not a cult-like following, but I would love to have such a tight community. You know what I mean? That people think it's like that. That's what I want.
Yeah, Tam said a great thing too. I think he tried it once, but you got to stick with it. Our great Tam said that a lot of people don't know about, including myself. Like, why don't you do a bunch of car repair videos?
I could do that, but then I'd have to take a car apart all the time. I don't have a vehicle that I could actually do that with. I mean, I could, I guess. If I had a car that I could do brake pad videos and, tune up videos and dio videos, I could still do that, actually. I could do little video drops with when this happens to your car, most likely it's this. Look into that. Stuff like that. I could do that. That's a good idea, Tammy. Just to draw different types of people into the channel, because once they see those drops of the car repairs, say somebody trying to fix their car, but they also have a drug problem, but at this time they're just trying to fix their car, so they're looking that up, watching that video, and at the same time they hear me say that on that same video. You know what I mean? T history.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what I have to get
Right.
into doing. That's what I have to get into doing. That's a good idea.
Using that big, you're using that big brand of yours right now. Yes. Yes. No doubt. Like I
Yeah.
said, so I don't. Is there anything else that you want to? Oh, well, because everybody's. Hold on, people got junk. That's what I was thinking about as well. She said people got junk cars laying around. Maybe get one donated. You're in a garage with two, anyways. Yeah, maybe because that's what I
That's
was gonna
true.
think about junkyards. Like if you just go around looking into like a junkyard, that's the first thing I was thinking. It's just if it should be something that you probably should look into. That's why I tell
I
you
think I
all the
will.
time, but you never pay no mind. That's why I tell you when you be going to get that coffee and stuff all the time. You're supposed to be letting them cashiers and those people know about your channel. Like, don't like, what's the worst? Just like a girl or anything else. What's the worst they could say? Just laugh at you and just or not, not subscribe. But you go in there every day. I would just be telling those people, like, look, I have a YouTube channel. Watch it. Like, all they can do is just not do it. You see what I'm saying?
No, it makes a lot of sense, and
Real. Like
I
like
always
I
forget
said,
to
that
do
like
that.
even if people don't, that's why some of the numbers or whatever, like you see one of the videos out there in the snow, it's like I really like run up in people in real life where you see me in the grocery store. Like when I'm in my right mood, I tell people about the channel. Like, so I have subscribers is that people I really just met out in the street. Because why not? You meet a stranger and y'all start kicking it or just talking to each other. Why not be telling them? You know what I mean? But this is for anyone. That's not like I'm throwing it at you like that. But the coffee place, I am. The coffee, you're going in,
It's a
you
good.
get
It's a
like
good.
it's just
It's a good advice. It's good advice. I need to start doing it, especially now that I
well,
need
lead place.
subscribers.
At least this the like I said, at least the coffee place. I mean, you be moving around, but the coffee place, like you go in there all the time. It's just like
I'm gonna start making flyers up. Maybe leaving flyers
right,
too.
right,
It's not a bad idea.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well, Tommy, we'll shut it
without.
down. Is there anything else or anybody else got anything for Tommy D? Because again, I don't want to be redundant with the same thing over and over. We basically get the gist, and soon as we're done here, Tommy's going live anyway. So,
You already know. You already know.
oh my goodness,
Oh man. No, but let me say one more thing while I'm here, because I just want people to know, like on the channel and stuff when they come on. We're on the internet, so obviously we all know that there's trolls out there. There's people that are trying to disrupt, So just know that when you're in there, you're safe with me. If I see anybody talking any type of nonsense about anybody in there, especially day one supporters like Alicia or Honda Mommy or Pamela or people like that, or Sean or Vic or Murph, I'm gonna shoot them down, man. I'm gonna kick them out. I'm gonna talk them. I'm not gonna allow that to happen, man. And you're safe to talk about whatever you want to. Like we're there to help each other. Like that's a positive zone. I don't want my channel to be any type of negative place to be. You know, I don't want that. That's not a place for drama. And whatever happened last night was bullshit. I did not know what was gonna happen. I let it go too long. That was my fault. That was definitely my fault. I was entertained by it a little bit. So that just shows you I'm not perfect. But definitely check out my channel, please. It's a safe
nobody,
place to come and have fun.
nobody's perfect. Well, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Real Life 101 with Tommy D. And for the people in the replay and the people that got it live, he has a channel. So tell the people the channel where they can find you. If you got your IG, let it be known. There will be people on the replay. So let us know where we can find Tommy talking with Tommy D.
All right, you can go to Talking with Tommy D on YouTube and subscribe to it and check out the videos and like them and share them and on social media. And then you can go on either Facebook or Instagram at Tommy D Marino. It's DEMARINO. And just request me. That's it.
All right, Tommy. I thank everybody for coming out. I thank you, Tommy D, for sitting down with us and letting us know, a little bit about yourself and, what I mean, your upbringing and what's been going on for the, up and down battle that you've been doing good for yourself, man. For the most part, great dad, and you show it every day. Continue to do like you've been doing, and you got a support group. Everybody in here is basically loved ones that got nothing but your back. Once
Thank
again,
you, man.
everybody, thank y'all. You're welcome, no
Salute.
problem. It is what it is. Um, everybody have a good night. And like I said, it was
Salute.
not a joke. Tommy D will be look, he's already gone. Yo, you can't. This dude's unbelievable. Oh my God, this dude's late for the view and then leave. Hey, y'all, peace. I'll talk to y'all. See y'all later. My goodness. Pamela J. Alicia, he won't be taking a cigarette. Oh my goodness. He won't be taking those cigarette breaks. He'll be live in 30 seconds. He won't be taking those cigarette breaks. Then. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night and go over there to Tommy D live. He's live now. My goodness. Woo.